What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Should have liked and sub, and let's get into this. Well, if you needed more reason not to play Dragon Age the Veilguard, we now have it. And that's one of the best features about Dragon Age was that much like Mass Effect, your decisions about your characters, the story, and the world more or less carried over. By the third one, my Hawk showed up from the second game. My Varric, different stories were because of what I chose. That is now a thing of the past and will not affect Veilguard whatsoever. And here's they're going to try to explain it, whatever. But they've spoken to IGN, of course, explaining why player choices in all of those games are going to be ignored, saying that our philosophy when it comes to integrating past player choices and world states is wherever possible, we want to avoid contradicting what has happened before. We never want to invalidate your choices. Okay, that's good. He then explained it has more to do with the game's setting than anything. For Dragon Age the Veilguard, among many reasons why we moved to Northern Thedas is because a little bit more of a clean slate for us. There's not as many decisions you have made up to this point that have an impact on what's happening in the North, and we don't have to speak directly to things like who is the divine, because again, that's happening in the. So I picked the black chick. Epler elaborated, there's never a sense of, oh, that decision doesn't exist, but maybe we don't touch on it in this particular title. Much like Inquisition didn't touch on every decision from Origins, they did touch on some. Much like Dragon Age 2 didn't touch on every decision from Origins, they did touch on the ones that mattered, including who the Grey Warden was, who he ended up with. Mine was I want to say Liara, but it's not Liara. It's whatever, you'll see. The cute French chick with the red hair. It's kind of in that same vein, and we're not going to contract it. We just may not always reference it directly, contradict it rather, he concluded. We don't want to ever imply that a decision is the wrong Liliandra is what I was trying to say. Decision is the wrong decision or the right decision. We might joke about things like, oh, you let the Chargers die. Well, that's clearly the wrong choice. But again, it's not because it's canon. We want those stories to be personal. These all the comments directly contradict the game's lead writer Patrick Weeks shared about the game and why they were moving forward and also not allowing people to use blood magic. And we see that started here. Our player specs like Shapeshifter, Bard, Blood Mage unlikely to return in the series. I know they're not in Dragon Age V. What was V? What the hell is in Dragon Age V? Anyway, but I know that they're probably too resource heavy either way. It's either the Mage Bard in Dragon Age, Inquisition was cool, and of course I played Hawk as a Blood Mage in the second one. Never say never, Blood Mage is unlikely because we've shifted it from a power boost to really being the key to a lot of nasty stuff, right, that they're not interested in having the players done. And then they were saying this is interesting because that means that a blood mage warden and or hawk are really, really subdue blood mages, and that Solus was both right and wrong in it being not inherently evil. I think it could be ethically neutral if they only use your own blood, but after seeing it used as a required part of mind control and demon binding in Dragon Age 2 and Dragon Age Inquisition, it's just not a road we want the hero to walk down right now. Pussies. Do you ever think it'll be turned back on? The good guy hero is such an overused trope, IMO. Hero who is not a complete asshole anti-hero is not a single trope. We give you different ways to play Rook in Veilguard. By the way, you know who does the female voice? Erika Ishii, the same one coming out in Ghost of Yote, who thinks that the police are all evil. Yeah, can't wait. Can't wait for Rook. But stuff we've set up as corrupting red lyrium, blood magic is mostly reserved for the villains this time for clear storytelling, might be in future games. And also talking about, I was wondering, does this simply apply to Rook, or will there be any more morally gray or sympathetic blood mages, and it would only apply to Rook, your main character? Yeah, and then this is just going, people steel manning them, upset that we can't use a power that villains have used before, even though it's already been established that heroes could use it too if done right. When talking about player choice, yeah, you talk about all you want at the end of the day. They've already said that it's going to be very open, and the characters are all pansexual, not player sexual, where they'll all go with the player, but other than that, they have established sexualities. This is, you can sleep with whoever you want, and for gameplay purposes, just going in that Player choice is seriously being discounted, and despite what they say, it's not for the betterment of the game. It's because they very clear view of how they want to establish things. And Dragon Age in name only. Dragon Age in name only. Let me know what you think about all this. Should have liked, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. If you're gonna do that, thank you.
Well, bye.